Greetings, future scholars of America. Mr. Barfield here with a grammar flipped lesson for you. Feel free to pause, rewind, fast forward this video at any time. This is your opportunity to take perfect notes in your grammar notebook. So today's topic is going to be a mishmash of different things that all kind of relate somehow, and it should be review from last year, hopefully. But even if you've never heard of most of this stuff, that's fine. This is what this video is for. So we're going to be talking about subjects, predicates, and different types of sentences. Part 1. Let's start with the 4 different kinds of sentences. First, you have declarative. That's a statement that ends with a period. You can just say it's a statement. Example, our class loves grammar. Oh, by the way, if you see an underlined word, that probably means it's a vocab word that you should have in your notebook. Now, the second type of sentence is interrogative. That's a question. So obviously it ends with a question mark. For example, do they really love grammar? Really? And the third kind, exclamatory. That expresses a strong feeling and ends with an exclamation point. For example, yes, they really love it. Grammar, that is. And lastly, the fourth kind is imperative. This gives a command or makes a request, and it ends with a period, like declarative, but it's different. Something tricky about imperative is that it might not always have a subject. It might be implied. We'll talk more about that in just a second when we go to the parts of a sentence. Basically, there's 2 main parts of a sentence. You got the subject and the predicate. The subject names who or what the sentence is about. Here's that note about imperative sentences. In imperative sentences, subject is usually not stated. The predicate is the whole sentence. The word you is the implied subject. So, for example, let's look at the sentence. Do more grammar. If you're like, where's the subject? Is it do? No. More? No. Grammar? No. Then where is it? It's an implied you. It's just not stated. Like, you could rephrase the sentence, you do more grammar, but it's not necessary to have the you in there. The predicate tells what the subject does or has or what the subject is or is like. A fragment is an incomplete thought missing a subject, a predicate, or both. And part 2, you don't need to write part 2. It's just for my own personal organization. Let's talk about compound subjects. That's 2 or more simple subjects that have the same predicate. We need an example, right? Sure we do. Riley and Graham are siblings. I just picked these names at random. I don't even know who these people are. Now, the predicate are siblings fits for both of these subjects. 1, 2. What about a compound predicate? Well, that's 2 or more predicates or verbs that have the same subject. For example, they enjoy waking up at noon and eating cereal. The subject is the same, they, and the predicates would be waking up at noon and eating cereal. Simple sentence is 1 subject plus 1 predicate, even if the subject or predicate is compound. So both of these qualify as simple sentences. A compound sentence is 2 or more simple sentences joined by a comma or a coordinating conjunction or semicolon. Let's see some examples of that. Grass is green, comma, and it needs to be watered. That's an example of a comma plus a coordinating conjunction. The 2 simple sentences being grass is green, and the other one being it needs to be watered. Each of those can exist on their own as their own simple sentence. And another example is I lost my keys, semicolon. I wasn't paying attention. Also, 2 simple sentences that could function on their own but are squished together as a compound sentence. And I like to end every grammar video, if I can, with a little meme or a comic. This is a pigeon saying all the different types of four sentences. There's some spelling mistakes in there because this was done by a second grader. So if a second grader can grasp the concept of 4 different kinds of sentences, I think you guys should be okay. That's all for now. Feel free to watch again as many times as you like. And tune in next time. Bye.